I met Landon in California at a missions conference last January, so it's been a year. And the story of how we met, and my perspective, is I was with some of my girlfriends at a frozen yogurt place, and I was just talking with them, having a good girl time.
And I hear this girl talking, right? And she's just like fired up. She was going on and on about, okay, we're in the battle, we gotta like get ready, we gotta have our hearts ready, we gotta have our minds ready, we gotta be in the Word, and she's like going for it. And just such passion. I was attracted just from the sound of the passion in her voice.
This guy walked up with this lady, and he heard what we were talking about. We were just talking about the Lord, and I was sharing this dream with the girls I had. It was just a good, intimate conversation, and when I start talking, I can get really passionate, and he heard how passionate I was.
And then I saw her, and I was like, dang! You know, two things combined. Not only just her heart for God, but also her beauty. She's beautiful.
And he came up and he just started saying, you know, I heard one of you girls talking really passionately, and I just want to encourage you guys to keep loving Jesus and sharing your lives for the Lord. And so often girls are talking, gossiping, and just doing things that, or talking about things that are superficial and stuff, and you girls are talking about Jesus. And he was just really impressed by that and encouraged all of us girls, which was really, to me, it really caught my eye, because I've never met someone who was so bold to say that to us.
So I just addressed the whole group of girls. I was looking for a donut shop, and so I asked them, I was like, hey, where's a donut shop? And afterwards, I was with this lady. I call her my missionary mama, and she's like, Landon, who was that girl? You should have got her number.
Okay, the mystery lady, that was his missionary mama. That's what he called her. Basically, she's a friend of the family. It was his missionary, the lady that got him into missions work. And so she's known him since he was a baby. So that was nice to find out that, you know, I don't know. Because then we also thought that maybe they were dating, or else they were mom and son, because they were sitting so close together that we were curious if maybe they were an awkward missionary couple. But they're not, so that was really good to find out.
So I went home that night. I was just distracted like crazy. The whole conference was looking for her.
From that point on, I would look for him at the conference and just pray that I wouldn't look for him. But then I just ended up giving it to the Lord. And the next day, I had prayed that the next day was my last day, and I prayed that if the Lord would let anything happen, that it would be His will, and He would let Landon come up to me and talk to me.
And so I really did have to pray and just give it over and say, God, if this is the girl that you have for me, you're going to have to bring her back. I'm not going to try to force it. I'm not going to try to, make my thing happen. I want you to bring her back, and I want to be able to talk to her again.
The next day, I was in the coffee shop with one of my girlfriends, and Landon came up to me and started talking.
And we were in the coffee house, me and this other girl, and I see Rachel. I saw Rachel in line, and here I'm like, dang it, I'm with the girl. She's gonna be thinking I'm with this girl, and so we got our drinks, got our orders, turned around and started talking to Rachel, and we exchanged a bit of information. But I was 5th grade nervous. I totally forgot her name and everything. But in it, I made sure to point out, you know what? Hey, this to Rachel at least. I pointed out this girl here. Her and her husband are going to London, just to make sure they knew that we weren't together. And then I'm like, yeah. And then there's another couple. There's a family, and me and another single are moving over there too. And then at that point, we were gone. The conference was over. We didn't exchange any information. I knew I couldn't do that. It just wasn't right. And I really did have to pray about it and say, God, if you want something more, you got to bring her to me.
About a month and a half later, we didn't exchange anything, found each other, found him online, on Facebook, of course.
That was one of the really important lessons with Rachel for me, was just that he's my sure thing. Rachel's the potential, but he's my sure thing. Right after that, she wrote me on Facebook. That was pretty much our official introduction, and the way that we got to know each other was through Facebook.
Altogether was the man of my dreams, basically. I knew it from the first time I saw him.
We both were total doofs, but we met each other, and at least she remembered my name.
I forgot my name.
I forgot her name. I'm sorry.
I went home, and immediately, because I remembered his name, and I remember he said that he was from somewhere in California that began with the letter M. I couldn't remember what he said. And he also said he was moving to London in May. Those were the keywords. Landon, the one that began with the letter M, the place where he lived in California, and then London. And then I couldn't find him on Facebook, and I had to stop looking because I felt really like a stalker. And
yeah, and I was trying to find her too, and I was kind of a stalker because I didn't even know her name, and so I'm looking for girls that are at the Hungry Calvary Chapel Bible College that live on the East Coast. There was no way to find her at all, so I had to give up and just like, all right, God, you're gonna have to hook us up at some point if this is gonna happen.
And then I randomly, after I'd stopped looking, I looked again one more time. Just, I don't know why, I just did it one more time. Like, it was at the end of February, so first time we met was in January. It was now the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the Calvary Chapel website. I don't know, this is like really detailed. And then I picked a church that began with the letter M, and it was then at the bottom it said, pray for the London team. And I was like, I clicked on it, and it said Landon Rogers, and I clicked on him, and it led to his website. So then I knew it was him.
The last 10 months for us have been all long distance. Pretty much all long distance. We've had a couple weeks where we've been able to see each other. We started writing.
Just sweet, encouraging emails to each other for 3 months until May. And in May, I had planned a trip to go visit my friend graduate in Malibu, California from college. And ended up I knew he lived in California and he wasn't moving till May 12th. And so I thought, well, we can't keep emailing forever, so maybe he'll pick me up. I don't know, maybe I'm going to tell him that I'm going to be in California.
I had seen that she was coming, to a friend's graduation, and I wasn't quite sure where it was, and so I just prayed, all right, Lord, you want this to happen? Just make it happen. And the three things were, before I left, pray that she would come to California, and I pray that she would bring it up to me. That was it, because I didn't want to be forcing it. So she did. She brought it up to me. It was before I left. My family and I were already going to be vacationing down south anyway, so it was right close to the airport.
Yeah.
And she brought it up, and it was in California, and it was right before I left, so it was perfect timing.
And his next email that I got was, hey, can I pick you up from the airport? And I about died. I was like,
yeah.
What? I can't believe this is happening.
So I went down there, and it was a great time together.
May 2nd, we started dating. We just kind of saw that the Lord had lined everything up, and even though we didn't necessarily know each other really well, we knew it'd be long distance. He'd be living in London, and I'd be in New Hampshire. And we just felt it was the Lord's, definitely, it just felt right that we should just start dating.
Do you see this? Can you see this scar right here on my ear? It's really tiny. Anyways, it is the reason that I got to hang out with her in Boston. Because I had some sort of skin cancer thing going on, so I was able to fly out to Boston, be with her family for the week. Her brother, who's in the Marines, was home for the week, just got done with boot camp, and I love her family. And her dad, it was during that trip, and her dad even gave me permission to marry her without me asking. And so that was crazy. And that happened because of this little earlobe right there. It never looked the same, but neither will my life. She changed it. So I have a verse that I want to share. It's in my Bible, in my phone. It's Proverbs 16:9. And Proverbs 16:9 says that a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. And that's totally what I've seen. There's been so many things in my life that I have wanted and tried to get and just clung to, but it was my own thing. And it was my heart planning my own way. But the coolest thing that I've seen in this relationship is just how God has directed the steps, and really practically directed the steps of our life. And it's not necessarily our power in prayer, it's the power of our God and His love for us to direct the steps of our life, because we don't know what's best for us, but He does. And so that it's been a step of faith for us just in praying and these different pivotal things for us with the relationship, and with getting to meet her the first time, with even me coming out to Boston, just submitting those things to God and experiencing his peace through all of it, and knowing that he is gonna hook us up with the best thing that he has for us in his love for us. And so we can trust him, and just trusting him to direct our steps as we submit our heart and our desires to him, and just ask him to lead.
It was amazing to know that like I could really let go of something, when in the past I would try to make it happen, or I would, a girl wants to be in a relationship, and you meet a guy, you like him, and you start dating, but like it was just really clear the Lord wasn't right in my heart. And so what was cool about this is right before I had, when I was still living in Hungary, the Lord had given me a verse for I guess how to deal with like how God would bring a relationship about in my life, or my husband or whatever, and it was in Deuteronomy, and it was just talking about how God, he will accomplish the salvation for Israel, and it was kind of in my life, like he will accomplish my relationship with whoever he'll bring into my life. And so when I met Landon, I had to give it to the Lord, and it was amazing to me. I learned how to trust God in such a different way that I never experienced before, and see how personal God is, and not so much a God from afar, but he wants to be involved in our lives. And when we let him, meaning we actually ask, like you would ask your parent, or you would ask someone, or you would just throw around an idea, make God that personal and listen for a response and wait. And that was what I had to do. Like I couldn't do anything else, because if I did, I knew it'd be my hand. And in the past, when my hand was in it, it didn't work. And so that was that was really, really awesome for me.
There's something that is neat in this relationship, for me at least, because whenever I get my hands on something, I tend to ruin it. And he has made it so that we've had to trust him. Because honestly, there was no way that I could have started a relationship with her, because I didn't know how to get in contact with her. And so I was like, my hands were tied, and I just had to trust him. All right, God, you want something more out of this, you got to bring her in. In every way, he has forced us to take our hands off of these things and just hold it up to him, trust him with it. Even with the long distance, we've had to constantly just, okay, I can't control this. You got to give me peace, because being away from her sucks, and I hate it. And he has to be my peace. So he's forced us to do that. It's not because we've arrived or we're awesome. It's because he's forced us to just trust him with it. And that's actually been such a good thing.
Everybody's question to me is, were you surprised? And I feel lame being like, well, no, but you have to understand that we had already talked about marriage and our relationships long distance, so the only time he would propose would be when we're together.
Right.
So I had hoped on the previous trip that he would propose, but he didn't. So I mean, I guess it was I was excited and hoping and hopeful, and then got off the airplane and we had Christmas plans.
Yes, we did. It was the 26th of December, day after Christmas, and we had wanted to kind of open our presents on our own. And so I was thinking, I knew I was going to do it. And I was going to get her the ring, and I was going to have it. And she showed up, and I was so stinking nervous because I had a secret, and I couldn't tell her, and it was killing me. So we picked her up her bag, got in the car, went to In-N-Out, because neither of us had had it in a long time. They don't have any on the East Coast, and they don't have any in London, so we were craving it. Picked up some In-N-Out. We went over to Santa Monica, and the beach. She had told me, tell them what you told me about the beach.
Oh, well, I had always, I had dreamed that the beach is the most romantic place to me and my favorite place on earth. So, I just wanted to be with, my man on the beach.
Like she said that, she's like, I want to be with my man on the beach. I'm like, that's where it's at. So we went to the beach, and my parents thought to bring a tent. It was perfect because it was kind of windy and stuff. So we set up the tent, and we put our little gifts inside of it. We sat down in the tent to keep it from blowing away, and we opened up presents. And the whole time, countdown, I knew that the ring was gonna have to come out, and I was gonna have to ask her, and I was getting nervous at that point, and I had a song planned
I didn't know he was going to do it then. I thought he would wait. I thought that it would be too obvious to do it then, so I figured he wouldn't do it then. So I was surprised if he did it then. And then the last present was a book, like our story, that he made in a book and he gave it to me. He's like, this is the final present, the main gift. And so I just was like, oh, this is such an amazing book. Like, it was just our story, pictures, and Landon's a really good writer, so just, it was a great, story. And, the last page, I don't remember, you were going to tell me.
The last page, so we kind of read through it, looked at the pictures, and on the last page it said, when Rachel left the second time from London, he was excited for their future together. Their future, a book of pictures and songs and stories yet to be written. And then I left 2 blank pages.
So I thought it was over. She was like, oh, that's such an amazing present.
And then I
kept it open.
Yeah, I kept it open, and then I flipped one of the pages, and she saw that on the
Started
other
to
side.
see, there's something on the other side.
Yes, so I flipped that page, and it said, in their future, one day at the beach, had a question that changed everything.
That was the moment.
And so I got down on one knee. Actually, we were sitting on the ground, so I got up on one knee, grabbed the box, flipped it open, and asked her to be my wife, Rachel Ann Barham. Will you marry me?
I said yes.
And she said yes. And then we laughed for like 30
I
minutes.
forgot to put the ring on for a